Myeni's body expected to arrive in his hometown in KwaZulu-Natal today. His remains arriving from Hawaii yesterday, landing at OR Tambo International Airport. The South African-born rugby player was shot by police in Honolulu. Officers were allegedly responding to an alleged burglary that was taking place. The family now calling for justice. And Mawande Kheswa, hello to you. You're following that story for us. There is a call for justice, but there really are a lot more questions to be asked surrounding how this actually happened.
Good morning. That is the case indeed. A lot of question marks have been caused. Particularly, we know that that 911 recording was published, and we could hear the lady who really made the call to the police. Quite confusing. She sounded quite distraught, but at the same time, she had explained that the man, to a degree, or the late Lindani Myeni, had introduced himself, going as far as also giving his country of birth, which is South Africa. So there's really a lot of confusion as to what exactly put the caller in that state of panic, with some people going as far as saying that it was an error on their part that led to the shooting and killing of Lindani Myeni. As far as the body is concerned, it arrived here in his hometown of Richards Bay last night at about 25 minutes past 10 o'clock. It was greeted by a field band that was playing drums as well as brass instruments. They ushered the hearse that was coming from Johannesburg. I understand that it left Johannesburg on Saturday just after 2 p.m., arriving in Richards Bay just at about 10:15. They ushered him to the funeral parlor right behind me that you can see, which is Richards Bay Funeral Services. And this is where I'm told his body will be kept until the day of his funeral.
Mawande, let's talk a little bit about the reaction, not just, of course, from the family, clearly distraught. They're demanding answers. His wife, Lindani's wife, has been furious, while at the same time grieving what has happened. There's no clear indication as to how this played out. Let's talk about government response to this. And while we answer that, you mentioned the details of this 911 call. Marcel Gordon and I brought you that video, that phone call yesterday. If you weren't with us yesterday morning, you can head to eNCA.com. It is on the homepage. It's the exclusive 911 recording revealing the details of that night. But Mawande, let's come back to you on the reaction from government. This is going to get complicated now, trying to deal with the interaction between our government and police in Honolulu.
Government has been quite hands-on with regards to this issue, because they lent a hand with the repatriation of the body. They've condemned these acts, going as far as calling the U.S. government to act. As far as the provincial government is concerned, they've really also been in the forefront of this. They've condemned these actions. They want a thorough investigation to take place so that there is justice for Lindani. So government really has, to this point, played their part. They also did hold that ceremony yesterday at OR Tambo when the body arrived on our shores in South Africa. So they've been really playing an integral part, also being in constant communication with the family in terms of all the actions that had been taken and what is going to happen moving forward. So really there's much appreciation from the side of the public and the family with regards to the role that government has been playing, both provincially and on a national level.
Let's talk about the widow of Lindani Myeni, that being Lindsay Myeni. I understand this morning, Mawande, and I know the story is moving very quickly, I understand that she is now going to sue U.S. police for the wrongful killing. She believes that this should never, ever have happened, but it seems to be the circumstances surrounding the shooting which she is now suing for wrongful killing.
Yes, that is the stance that she has taken, because she is quite adamant, as well as other people that knew Lindani, that he was described as a gentle giant. He was described as a person who loved others, a person who was free. and him acting in the manner in which police say he did does not make sense at all, because she also pointed to the fact that, you know, some of the stories that the police are saying, they don't corroborate or correlate to what really transpired. There has been a letter that is said to be from the lawyers that has been making the rounds on social media, where they're punching holes into that 911 call, because some people, depending on which side of the fence you are on, will say that he attacked police and police had no other option other than to use brutal force. But on the other side of the fence, you've also got people who are saying, according to that 911 call, police did not identify themselves. They put a flashlight in his face at night with a gun pointed towards him. At that point in time, they could be thugs to him because of the manner in which they approached him. There were no sirens that were heard, so when he left that household, it said that he was speaking to the husband of the woman who made the call, and as he was heading to his vehicle, that is when those officers came without identifying themselves and just telling him to go onto the ground. So really, as far as that's concerned, you've got those two sides to which you can take either one in terms of which side really you're on. So it's not really yet clear exactly what really happened, but as far as error is concerned, that is what the widow is pointing to, along with many other people, and really she does plan to sue the police as they've put holes into that 911 recording, saying that there was a huge error that was done on the part of the caller as well as the police. She's gone as far as saying it is because he is a black man, because if it was a person of a different race, they wouldn't have acted in the manner that they acted. The caller herself also wouldn't have acted the way that she acted, because she was quite hysterical. But also when the operator asked her to go outside, she was quite reluctant, with some going as far as saying the conversation that Lindani was having with the husband was just to prolong his stay there while the woman called the police. For what reason, it's not yet clear, because they do say if he was invading that home, why would there have been a calm conversation with the husband of the wife who was outside? Why would she refuse to then go outside and end up becoming hysterical on the phone?
Yeah, there's a lot of questions to be asked about this home where Myeni was. Lindsay, the widow, is saying, and I quote, Mawande, that they, in this case the police, and I'm quoting here, abused their rights and shot him dead because he had a heavy Zulu English accent and he was a black man. Also then asking the questions, if he was going to rob a house, why would he take off his shoes? The whole story, just at a very basic reading of what we do have and that audio recording, is paramount to being bizarre, isn't it?
Yes, at this stage, really, we've got more questions than answers, that you rightfully say. There are a lot of things that, if you think rationally, they would not make sense at all, because it is also said that when he was going back to his car, he was going to put on his shoes, which were in his vehicle, but he didn't get that far, as the police then came and started asking him to get on the ground. And at that point, he then was unsure, most probably, as to why am I seeing people come here and tell me to get down after I've had a casual conversation where there was no animosity, no emotions that were high outside of that 911 caller who was inside the house, who even refused to go outside the house. So really, there's that situation, a lot of questions, but we will get more information as time goes, just as that 911 call was put on air by eNCA. We do expect that more information will be unearthed, as well as the investigations that are taking place in Honolulu, Hawaii.